Mahalo. Thanks for sticking with us on this episode of Bewitched Banter through some of the language and content. Content is explicit. You have been warned.
You're listening to Bewitched Banter.
I'm Krista, and I believe that people are inherently shitty. And that's my bestie who doesn't believe in shit.
I thought we were doing the whole...
Oh, we're doing the whole thing? The old one?
No, we're not doing the old one anymore. Were you about to do the old one?
Hold up. No.
Oh,
I
thought you were doing the old one.
I don't remember the new one. That's why.
The new one, I was like, that's not it.
I don't remember. Help me.
You are listening to Bewitched Banter,
where we discuss the spooky, the magical, and the mystical.
And today, somehow, we are not discussing shitty people like we always do. Krista has a special guest. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, absolutely. I had the absolute joy and honor and privilege of traveling to Hawaii for a conference, which turned into a wink, wink, life-changing event for me, where I actually got to speak with Malia Sanders of the Native Hawaiian Hospitality Association, and she is fantastic, and she's going to take us through why it's so important to go to that beautiful island, and all of the islands it encompasses, with a little education in your back pocket, so you aren't an asshole tourist, let's say.
I mean, that'd be a good approach for going anywhere in life, basically.
Absolutely, and any place you go, we implore you to do so. Amy's much far traveled than I am thus far, but just do your research, do a little homework, know where you're going, know the people, know the plan, know the places.
And respect the culture.
Exactly. Bottom line, respect the culture. So Malia's going to take us through that on Thursday. But I'm going to start us off with some history of Hawaii.
Sweet.
So this will be part 1 of our Hawaiian history segment and episode. Thursday again will be Malia's interview, and next week will be our Hawaiian folklore stories that we hope you enjoy. Before I dive into said Hawaiian history, though, did want to shout out that May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We had not planned that, although it was kismet or divine timing, if you will, for that. However, I do want to point out that not every Native Hawaiian considers themselves American. Spoiler alert, you're going to hear in my history that we, the US of A, good old US of A, of course, illegally annexed Hawaii. And I don't know about you, but not one history class, or specifically American history class, that I have ever taken from elementary all the way up until university, and I'm freaking 34 years old, have never been taught that we illegally stole Hawaii. There was some really shady shit that went down with Queen Lili'olukuani, pardon the pronunciation, but essentially they signed a fake treaty and she just wanted no bloodshed and only peace for her people, so willingly did not put up a fight. So in my book, she is a real queen, and that's utmost respect. Till this day, there has never been a treaty signed. Although Bill Clinton in the 90s did a bullshit apology, doesn't take over that we took this land with no rights to it. So you can understand why AAIP Heritage Month does not resonate with all Hawaiians, and rightfully so. In fact, Malia pointed out a graphic to me that we both think had well intended to celebrate to the heritage, but it slapped Hawaii in between Asian American and in between Pacific Islander. And to be respectful, not all Hawaiians consider themselves American. So just wanted to throw that out there and know that I shared this history with you. That's why I'm being very respectful of this month and this history. I hope I do it justice. It is so rich. It is beautiful. It is deep. It is millennia old. And it is magical. So please do enjoy part 1 of our Hawaiian history of Bewitched Banter. All right. So again, I mean, you and I haven't talked for a minute. So like, I just want to say, how you been? It's been like a hot minute. We're rusty is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so bear with us, y'all.
Yeah,
We're rusty.
I actually pulled up our intro notes and we haven't recorded since April 8th, so it's been a while.
Yeah, stick with us. But I mean, I was telling Amy before recording just how much of a laughing, life-changing experience.
Yeah, because I had to make fun of Krista and tell her she was basic. Because
I mean, she's not lying on this one.
I had to call. I was like, I know she's gonna come over here and be like, it was life-changing.
And literally on the way over here, I had texted a colleague who was at the conference with me.
I'm so good
and she
at
goes,
this game.
How was the rest of your trip? And I go, it was wonderful. It was life-changing verbatim.
I knew it.
I texted Cynthia, what up, Cynthia? I don't know if you listen, but what up? It was life-changing. So,
yeah, I called you out. I was like, I know you're going to say it's life-changing.
Moreover than life-changing, though, we discussed this over dinner. Amy made us amazing fajitas for Taco Tuesday.
Oh,
and
we got our stretchy pants on now.
Fuck yeah, we do.
As always.
Fuck yeah. Titties out. Well, not out, but you know. Braless. Stretchy pants.
Yeah, stretchy pants. Full.
Where was I going with this? Oh, and so I was telling her that it was more over life-changing, it was more liberating, and it really was. It was my first time traveling as a single lady, can do whatever I want, when I want, go where I want, no, don't answer to anybody but me, and wherever the spirit moves me, you know. And that's exactly what I did for 12 fucking straight days, and it was the most incredible experience I've ever had to date. So that said, one of the things I got to do, this is the one piece I didn't get to tell you yet. I attended a writer's workshop, very casual, no pressure workshop with my friend Aga. And P.S. this whole episode is to you, Aga and Pat, who are in Hawaii right now on Oahu. They live there with their 2 beautiful kids, and they gave us the idea to do, you know, haunted Hawaii or folklore of the island. That's what we're covering this week. And they Aga was a dear colleague of mine at United Way back in the day, and we went to a writer's workshop with some of her friends. Really cool hip crowd, as you can imagine, a writer's workshop in the middle of Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm
Blunts
sure.
Passed, wine on the table, and you know, I participated a wee bit in that smoky smoke.
Oh, a little bit.
A wee bit. Actually, I took my gummy, and by the end, she and I were like looking at each other like, girl, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Wait, so weed's legal in Hawaii?
Not rec, but, you know.
You've traveled with weed?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't risk that.
Don't cut this. Don't tell the government on me.
What? I would not risk that. What if you didn't get a go all because you had a little gummy thing?
I took the risk, and it worked. It worked out just fine.
I guess I would just be nervous because I feel
you throw it in with your actual meds. That's what I did.
I guess that my thing is if I missed a trip just because of that, I'd be really mad at myself.
Well, you know what? My dad did it, so I said I'm going to do it too.
So
Thanks,
you guys
Dad.
are on the felons list.
Thanks, Dad. Falling for felon. Come get me, felon.
Because it's legal here, but I know it's not legal other places, and that's where you get in trouble.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's not rec yet, but there is actually a petition going around to sign it. Or was that Austin? Listen, y'all, I'm in my news traveling best life. I'm doing a little eat, pray, love moment, okay, of my lifetime. And
it's life-changing.
It's life-changing. You don't even know. Okay, back to this writer's workshop real quick. We did the workshop on letter writing. And I had told Aga the night before, I made her watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and she's like, she had never seen it. And then she's like, oh my God, this is wild. And I was like, but pay attention to all the messaging in between and after. And when she saw the sign-off, you know, Rue's classic, if you can't love yourself, how you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen? Amen up in here. Anyway, that's how every episode ends. And that's how I have been getting through the last 2 years of my divorce. And I thank you, Queen Rue, for getting me through and reminding myself to love myself, take care of myself, mind, body, and spirit. Like, physically represent myself, you know, right now it's not a great example, but like take care of oneself, all aspects of holistically of human.
Hey, eating fajitas is taking care of yourself.
Fuck yeah, it was. Made me happy.
Yeah.
But point being, she's like, who are you going to write a letter to? And she was looking at me, wink, and I was like, it took me a minute. I was like, I don't know. You know, the ex to be like, fuck you.
Is that what you did?
No, I didn't. I ended up writing cathartically in my journal to him. Actually, I'm not going to deliver it to him, but anyway, she's like, no, bitch, RuPaul. I was like, oh yeah. Turns out one of her friends that was in the workshop actually has a friend that's on the production of RuPaul's Drag Race.
So is he getting the letter?
I hope so. So actually,
did he give it to that person?
Not yet, because I have to write it.
Oh.
I was doing more research during the whole time of like how to like, it's been a while since I've written a letter, and I write cards all the time, as you guys know, but letters are a little different and longer form, I think, and should have a really solid purpose. And for Rue, it's to me to thank him for making me love myself again, and to remember to love myself, getting emotional, to love myself again. And turns out this chick could maybe actually deliver this letter to him. Whether he gets it or not, or reads it or gives a fuck, I don't care. But like it was just so serendipitous, and again, so fucking cheesy. But that part really was life transforming, and just everything else about it. So just remind me to be grateful and humble and kind and love me ohana, which means family. So, and as you guys should know by now, friends are my family and always will be. If you have made it to that level of my friendship, you are my fucking family, and I take that shit very seriously. So, anyway, that's the sappiness of my Hawaiian journey. Week before that, I was in Austin. Week before that, I was in Chicago. But now I'm back in the hot as fuck desert to tell you the tale of Hawaii before we air Malia's interview. So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready history for it.
All right.
Hiri.
I
was going to say 7 years ago.
I'm going to try to make it brief, y'all, but there's quite a bit of history to go through, so I'm going to do it as briefly as possible with being as respectful as possible as well. So, here we go.
Okay, ready.
America.
The great.
Not. Leave it to us, right, to edit, rewrite history of all the indigenous people in which we touch, not just Hawaii, but obviously our mainland. We fucked that up a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii's no different. And all the other Pacific Islands are also no exception. But again, for this week, we're going to focus squarely on Hawaii and the connection and ties it has to a very complex history and culture of tourism. But so needless to say, we know this. It's been commodified, the history, and exploited, frankly, not only for its natural resources back in the day, but also for tourism, how we grew up with it in our era, right? Before that, it goes back millennia, which I'm going to take us back through. Again, going back millennia, if we take a map of the world, it's almost always with the Eurocentric viewpoint, because those are the people who made the maps. But if you just...
It is really when you look at a map and it's oriented differently. Isn't it mind trip?
Yeah, it really is. And of course, like in you good old US of A, we're right in the center. Bullshit, we ain't the center of the universe. In fact, this video that I watched, it's actually, most of this history comes from this, and it's actually really well done. It was a YouTube series called History Summarized Hawaii, and the production company is called Overly...
It's like it pops up different pictures.
Oh my god, I just got really emotional. Amy's picture just showed us. That was the Bewitched Banter launch.
That's what I was showing you. Oh my god. So my watch pops up different pictures, and it popped up the picture of the day we thought of the concept.
Oh my god, I got goosebumps. Oh my god. Everything in life connects, and y'all know that about me by now. That's exactly how I believe, and things truly happen on a total different vibrational level right now for things. That actually goes to the point, though, of Hawaiian history, I think, and what I've learned is that they were very in touch with their land, much like all indigenous native peoples. The land is their body, their family, their resources, everything. They're thankful to it. They pray to it. They, are grateful. And I think there's something going on in the world right now after surviving COVID and fucking war right now. I think there's a collective consciousness happening that people are... I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, but like people are trying to go back to their roots and get rid of all the excess bullshit, because we're tired. We're tired of all this fake bullshit, and getting back to the land, if you will, and getting back to basics. I think people are really trying to do that despite all the...
Well, I think that's also with like the Great Resignation. People are starting to see like you only have one life. It's short.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do, man. So anyhow, back to Hawaii, whose peoples respected, I would say, not just the land, but the ocean. Really, they're an oceanic people, obviously. And nearly 1/3 of the of the Earth's surface is water. And Hawaii is at the heart of it. And in that video I just mentioned, they actually dub Hawaii the heart of the Pacific Ocean, which I thought was really sweet. It's a volcanic archipelago, taking us back to geography class.
I remember learning about that back in the day.
What is an archipelago, if you will, Miss Amy?
I remember learning about it. Do I remember shit about fuck, Marty?
Do I know shit about fuck? Essentially, I think it's a cluster of islands in a string together.
I knew it was something like that.
And
yeah.
in particular, this archipelago was made from volcanoes. So, essentially, this video quotes us saying, it's hella far away from the rest of the world. And yes, the fuck it is. I found out it's a 6.5 hour plane ride from Phoenix. Oops. Probably should have done my research on that. But, hey, I got there.
Would you not, come prepared with books and stuff?
Well...
You didn't look?
Not really. I didn't... And plus, there's a 3-hour time difference, too. So they're, Anyway.
I'm just baffled. What about when you booked the flight? You didn't notice?
I mean, not really. I just booked it. I'm trying to get there, you know what I mean?
That's the first thing I look at is, how long is the flight?
Yeah, I probably should have, but fuck it. So
that's 101 in booking a trip.
Listen, I'm not as worldly as you yet, all right?
That's not worldly. That's just looking.
Fuck you.
Observing.
Well... So his history, like I said, is very complex. And the last 2 centuries in particular, thanks to fucking colonialism, it really became a really crazy, intricate network of trans-Pacific trade. And of course, because of that resulted in a super diverse population. I had no idea how diverse Hawaii is when I got there, and I was so shocked. And there was a lot of reminiscence to me to Tokyo when I went there. I was like, oh, there's a lot of Japanese influence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no shit, it's geographically close, but also there's some history I'll get into in a little bit about why. But in a brief nutshell, current population's about 10% Native Hawaiian, 38 Asian, 25 white, mixed 24, black 2%, and other 1%. And so very diverse. And again, it should be appreciated. So back to geography class, it's seemingly one place in the middle of the Pacific, but it actually really started nearly 4,000 years ago, closer to Taiwan, actually. So Taiwanese people and people in that area of the world 4,000 years ago began to migrate south, and they were expert sailors and navigators. They used, again, the positions on the sun and the stars, water patterns. They became weather experts. They even knew bird migration patterns. Well, no shit, because they were, they used that to navigate themselves through this vast ocean. And then they came down through the Philippines about 15 BC to 1000 AD. And over time, they finally worked their way around 800 BC to 1200 AD to the Pacific area, which became Polynesian. And Polynesia actually just means many islands. That's what it means. And little known fact, I didn't know this, Polynesia is fucking massive. It looks like they're just scattered, right, across the Pacific, but it's 118,000 square miles of land in the Polynesian Triangle. And this includes Aotearoa. Did I say that right? Do you know? Aotearoa, Hawaii, and Rapa Nui.
Oh, I wouldn't ask me. I don't know.
Anyway, this equates to being larger than the entire Mongol Empire. And if you're not history buffs, I'm not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what does that
I'm
mean?
not either. But the Mongol Empire, I believe, was part of China, and they were fucking massive.
I was gonna say, is that common sense? I was like, I don't know.
We can ask Corey later. Fact check.
You'll be like, oh, you didn't know that?
And so getting to Hawaii, it was settled in 2 waves. The first wave was around 300 to 600 AD. There's very little archaeological records here, right? Because they didn't keep written records at that time. The second wave was around the 11th and 13th centuries. So a hell of a lot more modern in our comprehension than 3 to 600 AD. And they still kept sparse written records, but thankfully Hawaiians did, and they still have such an incredible storytelling culture through hula and chanting and speaking to the gods. Those tell stories, and those chants are called oli. And they had to be so fucking perfect because they're performed as acts to the gods. And because of that, they became their in place of the written record, it became their oral record of their history. So it was very well preserved through these dances and song. There was a caste system, even though there was no formal...
I was going to cover that in my story.
Oh, yeah. No formal political structure, but there was a hierarchy. And of course, guess who were subservient to men? You know, guess that shit never changes.
No.
No matter what fucking part of the world.
Well, there are some cultures. We should do that for one episode.
Fuck yeah, we should. Matriarchal led.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Alright, so we're gonna get into closer into shit we can comprehend in our little modern pea brains. Thank you, Britain. Your roots to Captain James Cook. He was commissioned to essentially map the entire globe via sailing expeditions. And as we know, he traveled very widely. I'm familiar with him through my travels to the British Virgin Islands, actually. But he kept going. He went all the way down through South America, and ended up, quote unquote, discovering Hawaii and Polynesia. But essentially, he was kind of kicked out because, you know, they were like, fuck you, we're not taking your bullshit. And the sailors then obviously continued to exploit natives for riches and natural resources because they had no experience with the cash economy. So same old story that we did here in America to all of our indigenous peoples. And I say here in America because a lot of Native Hawaiians actually don't and won't, rightfully, from what I'm going to tell you, associate themselves as part of the U.S. So when Cook left, there was still trading going on, obviously, massive hub. But later, in 1791... Oh, did I say when Cook came? Sorry, it was 1778 when Captain Cook came. So later, shortly thereafter, in 1791, there was a king named... Okay, this is a hard one for me. It's a very tough language. Kamehameha. King Kamehameha. And actually, I went to his queen's palace this trip. It was lovely, and I will share photos later. Anyhow, he, seeing the exploits of the Brits, became interested in metals and guns, obviously making any inter-island conflict incredibly deadly. We know what guns do to folks. But regardless, he ruled all the islands and made himself king of all of Hawaii by 1810. And he did rule with peace and prosperity, economic prosperity. He implemented the law of the splintered paddle, which stated, "O people, honor thy God, respect alike both people, great and humble, everyone, from the old men and women to the child. Be free to go forth and lie in the road without fear of harm. Break this law and die." So essentially, respect the land and people. And later, though, he had two stepmamas, or aunties, as they're called. They encouraged him to dismantle this kapu system, meaning like men in charge, and they encouraged him to, God forbid, have dinner with a woman. God forbid. And so we move into the 1820s, enter missionaries. You know, thank you, religion. You know, come and fucking shake shit up as usual. Both Christian and Mormon. I think there were some others as well, but mainly Christian and Mormon. There's actually still a massive Mormon influence that owns like a fuckload of territory and land on Hawaii.
Yeah, I think in Belize there was a bunch of Mormons too, which really surprised me.
Mm-hmm. So like Bishop Avenue, I think it is, and then there's Bishop Museum, I believe comes from, you know, being bishops of the Mormon church.
Yeah, because I remember the people who were dressed like they were Amish being in
Mormon.
Belize, and I was like asking, and they were like, yeah, there's a bunch of Mormons here. I was like, whoa, no idea that would travel here.
Exactly. So they were very successful in converting a majority of Hawaii to Christianity, although there was some slow movement with those who live very close to the volcanoes because they were in the direct path of potential eruptions. And Pele, who is a goddess I will be covering in my story, she's a goddess of fire and volcano and many other things, but primarily known throughout Polynesia as the fire goddess. They were really fearful, those people who live near the volcanoes, to convert because they're like, well, shit, she's going to get mad and erupt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck, what are we going to do? But again, of course, as we know, more exploits happened. Enter this time, America. Back to America. And the land redistribution plan. We're now at the Great Mahele in 1848, or the Great Division. And this was ripe for outsiders to claim and own their own land. Sadly, very soon after this, 3/4 of Hawaii was owned by foreign people. So, fucking ring a bell, anyone on the mainland? Ring a fucking bell. All the native people, especially here in Arizona. Can't with it. Man. Okay. So, what do we always bring with us, aside our white-centric views? Think of disease.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So along with them came a fuckload of capitalistic ideas and, sadly, more so, disease. By 1920, the native population plummeted to just 24,000 people.
Wow. What was it before? Do you know?
Yep. Pre-contact of white people, essentially, or Europeans and Americans, there was estimated to be between 300 and 700,000 natives.
Wow.
Yeah. So, oh my God, it shows going down to 24,000.
Wow.
So the business owners and landowners keep coming in, keep plummeting. Oh man. And they needed workers to staff their very now lucrative sugar plantations on the island. So they imported labor. Any guesses from where?
I was gonna say from Central America.
That's part of it. China, Japan, Korea, the Philippines, and randomly, country you guys went for your honeymoon.
Oh, Portugal?
Yeah, and that's such a weird one, but they came, and so there's Portuguese sausage like everywhere on the island, which was I wasn't complaining. Believe me, I was eating that shit up. But
yeah.
Anyway, this whole period was called the Trans-Pacific Migration, and this happened between the 1850s and 1900. And then we got to two terms that I want to define because it's very important of what happened and how Hawaii became a quote-unquote U.S. state territory. So Hawaiian is someone who is actually born of Polynesian heritage. Islander is an island-born person with foreign ethnicity. Now again, this is a quote from the Sarcastic Video Productions. Quote, "This distinction helps us to appreciate all the shadiness of what happened next." End quote. We hit 1887. White foreigners and islanders created the Hawaiian League. And that essentially gave preferential commercial interest and treatment to whites who could then overthrow the kingdom. Sanford Dole of the pineapple fame is one of those men. And little also known fact, pineapples are not even native to Hawaii.
I think I knew that, actually.
I didn't, and I feel like ignorant, but no, they're from South America. And Dole brought them over with this fucking Hawaiian.
I think
league.
I learned that in it was like one of those random tidbits you learn like elementary school.
Oh, I missed that history lesson, but now I know.
Well, I don't think it's common sense. I just think I randomly, one of the days I was paying attention.
Those lucky days that you learned about pineapples.
I was like, what? Pineapples? Food? Okay.
I'm in.
Okay, let me go back to daydreaming.
So we have this league of businessmen that are non-native, obviously only acting in their own business interests. They convinced, i.e. threatened, King David Kalakaua to side with them. And again, i.e. they really threatened him, and they call this the Bayonet Constitution because they were threatening him and his people with violence if he didn't comply to meet their business needs. What this did, this Bayonet Constitution, it actually allowed for a U.S. military base at Pearl Harbor, which we know all about, that tragedy, voting rights for the white islanders almost exclusively for them, and no interest was taken for the native folks, of course.
What year was this again?
This is in 1887.
Oh, okay, so we're talking way long ago. Okay.
And it impacts so much of the rest of its history.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sadly, King David Kalakaua was not just threatened into signing this bayonet petition or constitution, but he was actually kind of a total piece of shit himself for his people. He did love the arts and culture, and he commissioned the Lolani Palace, which is absolutely stunning. I didn't get to go to that one, but he really didn't give a shit about his people, so he just basically handed over rights to this Hawaiian League. When he passed away, however, badass queen, his sister, badass queen Li. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna do this one right. Liliuokulani. Try that one real fast. There's a lot of vowels in this language, which is a really tough one for me.
Oh, I bet.
And you pronounce every one.
When I went to Swaziland, they literally did the click of the tongue.
Oh, that's right.
With the letter Q. I could not learn.
How do you do? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I think it's just cool. Like, language fascinates me.
No, I thought it was really cool, but I was like, I don't know how people do in the middle of like saying it's a word.
Okay, sorry. So Queen Liliuokalani was this king's sister, and she tried to reverse the bayonet constitution after his death, but unfortunately the League incited a coup, and their ultimate goal was to get Hawaii annexed by the US. And I believe the president at the time was President Grover. I have to fact check that, but he said, fuck that. You just made an illegal coup against a sovereign nation. You can't do that bullshit. And
is that verbatim what he said?
Exactly. You can't do that motherfucking bullshit to a sovereign nation.
Yeah,
in
like
1898.
That talking? You can't fucking do that.
And unfortunately, I think it was Roosevelt after him basically said, oh well, who cares? If the US doesn't snatch it up right now, other enemies like Japan will faux show. Also verbatim.
That's exactly how they talked.
So essentially, Roosevelt saw it as prime real estate in the Pacific, obviously. And free, might I add, because they essentially took it over illegally. Again, nothing took Native Hawaiians into the picture, and essentially Hawaii, as we know today, was fully annexed for the benefit of the American military. At the turn of the century, Hawaii fully commercialized into many stereotypes we know today. Hula, luau's, surf, the pineapple, again, did not fucking native. And, you know, it's really sad because all that hard work and the commercialization was built on the backs of basically free labor from Hawaiians and Asians who immigrated there or were forced to immigrate there for labor. 1941, December 7th, Pearl Harbor, which is so fucking tragic on all accounts. I visited there as well, by the way. I cried in the middle. I just broke down. I broke down in the middle of the museum. There was like sound effects. I did the audio tour narrated by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, really?
Did you ever watch Finding Dory? Mm-mm. Oh my god, it's so fucking funny because it reminded me of that because Dory's talking and it's Ellen DeGeneres' voice, and in the museum, or in the, not the museum, the aquarium, it's narrated by Sigourney Weaver, and Dory's swimming through it, and she goes, "Oh, hi, Sigourney!" and then it's Jamie Lee Curtis at the Pearl Harbor Museum, so I was just cracking myself up. But Pearl Harbor, after the Pearl Harbor attack by the Japanese on the American military base, that put Hawaii under martial law. And that means essentially, basically, good luck, citizens, you're on your own. House arrest. Do whatever the fuck you need to protect yourselves. Like, it's very scary. Wild West type of vibe in martial law. And by this time, 40% of the population had Japanese ancestry. And even though like a shit ton of them fought for the U.S. military to show that they were loyal to the U.S. during World War II, we still had Japanese internment camps, obviously, back on the mainland. Like, just mind-blowing. Roosevelt had also quoted something to the effect of, the Japanese who fought on behalf of the U.S. show their character is made of not who they're from, but like fighting for us. And yet he still had Japanese internment camps. So it's like totally fuck you, dude. 1959, we actually started to slightly see a twist caring about Hawaii, but it had all been obviously commodified into Fucking Elvis was there, and like, oh my god, I got fucking tourist trapped into going to this show. Frankly, a bastardization of the culture that I am starting to learn about. And like, there's an Elvis impersonator, a fucking Michael Jackson impersonator, along with like hula and like fire dances. And I'm like, this is so not cool. More power to the performers and dancers and singers. They were fabulous performers, but the whole concept was so icky to me, and I was just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? But anyway, it was an experience nonetheless. Shout out to Jen and Gwen. Y'all took me there against my will. No, just kidding. They did not pull my leg, but it was fun to be with them, but not my thing. For future reference on Travel Buddies. Finally, we get into 1970s. There's a huge resurgence. And again, I think maybe back then, like what's happening now, people are just trying to get back to some realness. You know what I mean? Like with the hippie movement, people are trying to get back to roots and chill, man. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And so there was a huge resurgence of restoring the culture. And actually in the 90s, Bill Clinton signed, I don't know if it was a treaty. He publicly announced that Hawaii was illegally annexed. And to this day, there's actually never been an annexation treaty ever signed for Hawaii. So technically, we don't even really own that shit. We never did in the first place, but like, even though it's the 49th state, after Arizona, actually.
That's right.
You know, there's so many Hawaiians, Native Hawaiians, that refuse to call themselves American. And you can see why. I mean,
yeah, rightfully so.
Obviously. So to end it on the quote from that video that I mentioned, American history needs to cover way more than the United States history because it's far more vast and complex than that, including Polynesia and especially Hawaii in this case. So that's a very brief 5-minute, maybe more 10-minute history of Hawaii. It's so much more complex and beautiful with, again...
Well, we'd be here all night if you really tried to do it justice.
And obviously, I am not Native. Malia is going to share a lot more about that and the entire cultural context of tourism in Hawaii on Thursday's episode. So if you're interested in that and how to be a respectful visitor of the stunning, magical islands of Hawaii, please head over Thursday to hear our interview for part 2 of Bewitched Banter Hawaiian History, our interview with Malia Sanders of the Native Hawaiian Hospitality Association.
Peace, bewitches.
Peace. Or shall I say, mahalo, bewitches.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchedbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchedbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcasts edited and produced by Krista Hins and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.